Hey, hello everyone. If you're new around here, my name is Marcelina. I'm a 15-year-old teen author who is currently in the process of outlining her third novel, soon to be third published novel. A lot of y'all have been asking about the release date. I have no idea. I haven't even started writing the first draft yet, so I genuinely don't know. I'm aiming for either February or March release of 2026, so in about a year, roughly. But anyway, we are in the process of planning. So the last month or so, I've been going over the characters, working on their character profiles, fleshing them out, and I think I have them developed enough to the point I feel confident to move on to the next phase, aka stage 2 of my personal outlining process, which is the kind of timeline stage. So this is where, it's self-explanatory. I quite literally make a timeline for the order of events chronologically in my book. I feel like especially more than most books, because mine is kind of a mystery, true crime thriller. Think of the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes mixed with Pretty Little Liars, with a hint, a splash of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder thrown in there. But those are all my comp titles, and so you kind of get the vibe, right? But it's one of those things, and I talked about this last week when I was outlining one of the side characters, Allison, who happens to be the FMC's sister. It's one of those books where like Allison goes missing when she was 15, but that was 5 years ago. So I'm thinking we get a flashback in the beginning of the book. Or maybe not a flashback, maybe like a memory. I can't decide if I want it to be from Natalia's POV or Allison's POV. But basically, it was 5 years ago at that point. She went missing. She's never been found. She's presumed dead by authorities just because the law is kind of like, I think in Minnesota, which is where this is set, if you're missing for 4 or more years, you're technically legally presumed dead. So she's legally presumed dead. Everyone thinks she's dead. They've stopped looking for her. They've never found a body, but is she really? What happened to her? Is she alive? Is she kidnapped? Is she genuinely dead? Like, what happened? So that's the last thing I did, but in that kind of storyline, it's kind of essential that you have a timeline because there's going to be flashbacks constantly throughout the whole novel. And so from the writer side of things, I need to know what the heck I'm doing behind the scenes. Like, I need to know what's real, what's a lie, like what happened that we don't see. So ultimately, it's more for me and my knowledge and my reference so that I can have a clear understanding of how I'm going to go about the timeline and the time of events chronologically. However, I also do not want to get bitter, negative 1-star, 2-star reviews. Like, oh, the pacing's weird, like this couldn't have happened because this was supposed to happen on XYZ date, but then the author described it in another month, and so it doesn't make sense. That's something I learned from my last book, The Bolt That Divides Us, which was like a hardcore murder mystery. With this book, it's not a hardcore murder mystery. The murder mystery, or like the missing sister, Allison, is more of a subplot. But with The Bolt That Divides Us, I did get quite a few negative reviews that were like, this book happened way too fast because it takes place over the span of like 3 days. I'm just really bad at pacing and timelines overall. That's definitely a flaw of mine as a writer. So with this one, I aspire to fix that, to change my ways, to make things not only more realistic, but also more comprehensive for the readers. So you guys are not left wondering, how much time has passed? When did this happen? Like, I want the timeline to be very, very evident and clear. So I gotta figure it out first though. So that's what we're gonna be doing in this vlog. Come along for the journey. Let's go.
Telling me you feel fine. Never leave, never leave, never leave, never leave, never leave in your side.
Update. I don't think I disclosed this at the beginning of the vlog, but today is currently Saturday, April 5th. So it is a weekend. That's why I'm able to pretty much vlog and work on this project all day today, because it's a weekend, no school. I absolutely love that. All my work nowadays tends to be on the weekends. I can barely get anything done during school. But anyway, it's about 1 p.m. so it's the afternoon. I really need to eat lunch because I am starving. But I wanted to pop on because, okay, quite frankly, I did not do much. This is all I've done. If you're wondering why it's tilted like this, I decided I was waffling between two options, just writing it down, like the dates on the left-hand corner, and then the other column would be like what happens on those dates. But I decided to stay true to the timeline and actually make a timeline. And I would have a lot more space if I turned the paper this way and did it like this than like this. So anyway, we turn the paper this way, our line goes here. I've only done one thing. I've only made 1 point. That's insane. I don't know how you can see. I don't know if I really want to give it away, but we have August 12th, 2018. If you're curious, that's when the events of this book starts, technically. First day of school, 2018. And for anyone wondering, is this book set in 2018? No, trust me, it is not. My thought process is that, as I hinted before, Allison has been missing for 5 years. And she goes missing on Christmas Eve of 2018. And so, relatively, this book will be set around 2023, like late 2023, early 2024. So it'll be a little bit in the past, but that's okay. And so that's why August 12th, 2018 is the very first date that I have on the chronological timeline, because that's the first day of school for her, and it's, what is that? I cannot do math. October, November. Yeah, that's roughly 4 months before she disappears without a trace. So, can't share it, obviously, but that's when something pretty significant happens that ricochets motives for a character that is a character. Low-key an antagonist, but yeah. It's so weird though, because with only one little thing, it's already looking messy. I highlighted this, that this is the date. I don't know if I like that. I kind of want to do a box around it, like, you know, with the timelines, they do a box around it. I'm gonna do, you can't see because I've only done this one, but I'm gonna do that thing where I go like down, and then this one's gonna be up here, and then the next one's gonna be down, the next one's gonna be up here, so on and so forth. I promise it'll make more sense once I do more. It's really chaotic, and yeah, I thrive in chaos usually, but I'm just like, this timeline is not going to be aesthetically pleasing. So we're making progress, slow and steady. I guess that's the way to go. I don't know, I'm going to keep working on this. It's just a lot, because I have 2 different Google Docs. I have the brain dump, actually 3. I have the brain dump, I have the character profile doc, and then I have this physical notebook that has all the backstories, which I put dates, specific dates in the backstories, only in my notebook, so I have to remember what places I put which pieces of information, dig them out, and then organize them chronologically, and then write them on the timeline. So hi guys, just popping on to say that I'm currently listening to Carousel by Melanie Martinez. It's so Allison coded. Forget that, it's literally the book coded. Like, doing it while doing the early 2018 timeline for Allison is so perfect. Like, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
And I've been chilling, watching the ocean with you, baby, up with a slow motion crew, and we up in a cloud.
I knew it was bound to happen at some point. I literally knew it. So it is much, much later. It's almost 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Still Saturday, just quite a few hours later. I've been working pretty much all day I did do some laundry, still have to do the dishes, but I had the house to myself for a little bit, so I was trying to take advantage of that and be productive. However, I am now stuck. I have hit a roadblock, and I knew this was gonna happen. I don't know if I said it in the vlog or not, but I freaking called it. Like, I was like, it's too easy, because Allison, her backstory already has a lot of dates in it, so I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be easy peasy. But I'm getting to the present day timeline, starting from, like, you know, what's gonna happen at the very beginning of this story, which is where I'm stuck, because it's quite a simple problem, except there's like a million possible answers that I could do. Like, it's so, I don't know what route I want to take. So let me just kind of explain. When I talk things out, they tend to get resolved on their own, so we're gonna talk it out and see. My initial plan was to have this story, like the present story, we're no longer in the past in terms of outlining, like the present story, take place during the summer. Because, like I was saying, like I've said 1,000 times before, it's very The Naturals coded, which if you've read that series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, you know what I mean. It, you know, the main premise centers around a girl being recruited to this kind of FBI organization, or more of like a program that's overseen by the FBI, maybe not like the FBI itself, but like a derivative of it. And so, you know, it's like this whole program, this whole like secret society organization, whatever you want to call it. And so I was going to have it take place during the summer, because I figured, well, my main character, Natalia, she is 16. The other characters are 17, but she's 16. She's a sophomore in high school. I was like, come on, let's be realistic. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, especially with fantasy, romantasy, whatever. Like, some of those genres, or I mean, honestly, even just thrillers and other fellow mysteries, where like it takes place during the school year, and it's evident that the characters are in school, whether it be high school, college, whatever, and they're freaking like going on these adventures, solving these mysteries, and it's like, isn't it February? Isn't it March? Are you supposed to be in school? Like, what? That actually drives me insane. I get it. The book doesn't revolve around school. I mean, maybe that specific book isn't like an academia book, so it doesn't revolve around the character's school life. But like, I hate when authors, it's one of my biggest book pet peeves, when authors just honestly neglect the fact that the characters are still in school, and they're just like running around solving crime 24/7. It's literally a Monday, and there's no mention of them going to school. It's like, so they're skipping or what? So anyway, to alleviate that tension and just avoid those problems altogether, this book was going to take place during the summer. But as I was putting together the overall timeline, which this is why putting together a conclusive and complete timeline is essential, because you're able to lay it out in a format where instead of just having one thing in one Google Doc and then the follow-up date in a separate notebook, like you have it all in one place in one row chronologically on one piece of paper. It's so much easier. And so as I was doing that, I realized that that plan is not going to work. I don't think that having the events and the plot points occur during the summer is feasible anymore. I just don't. Like, it just will not make sense with anything else that I have. So now I'm kind of scrambling my brain to think, how can I make this work? Because if my calculations are correct, it's going to have to take place between the months of like October to December or November to December. I don't know if I want it to be 1 month or 2 months. I'm going to block out at least October. So that poses a problem, because it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do? Because not only is Natalia still supposed to be in school, but like the other characters, Jaden, Kyle, Era, they're a year older. They're all 17, so they're all juniors. Like, junior year, like everybody knows junior year is your most stressful year of high school. Like, so they're all just missing that. Like, I am creating more problems for myself. So I don't know what to do, because I either have to A, rewrite the whole timeline because everything has built up at this point. So if I'm adamant about it happening during the summer, I either have to rework everything or I have to just be flexible, take a deep breath, take a step back, and then find some way that these characters can still be in school between the months of October and December while still making this like FBI organization program that they've got going on work. So I think I need to reread The Naturals again and kind of see how Jennifer does it. It's been a while. I forgot what time of year it happens in, because I remember it was when, I know Cassie is 17 and she was working at the diner, but I forgot if it was summer or if she was in school. I need to double check that, because if she is still in school, I need to see how like Jennifer does it and kind of get ideas, because I don't know what to do. Would that bother you guys? Like, let me know in the comments down below if I make this set in like the fall, early winter, while these characters are supposed to be in school, and maybe do like a couple of school scenes, but that's obviously not the main focus, so I don't want to waste page time on that. I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording. I need to get back and we're gonna have a thinking session. That's the plan. We'll figure it out. Okay. Anyway, hopefully I'll get back to you guys with an update later. Oh my gosh, I'm actually so mad right now. So a little quick story time. I actually recorded a 10-minute clip just now. And then come to find out, I go to my editing app to input the clip and it says it's not supported. So I go back to my camera roll to see why the heck it's not supported. And you know, on an iPhone, how there's like different settings, and if you swipe left, I think it is, there's like cinematic mode. I did not know that I recorded a whole 10-minute clip in cinematic mode, which is not supported in my editing app. So basically I have to try to re-record that clip, and my phone's being weird and it keeps deleting my videos, and I think it's overheating because it feels really hot. So now I'm gonna try to talk fast and rush this because I have to re-record what I just said, and I don't know how much time it's going to let me record now that I'm not in cinematic mode. Bro, I'm so annoyed at myself. Okay. Anyway, aside from that annoying thing, on a more positive note, we finished the timeline. Yay! Round of applause. I am so happy, so relieved. It's a lot later. It's almost 9 o'clock right now. I believe it's like 8:45 p.m. So it's a couple hours later from when I last updated y'all. And another update, I think I did fix the problem, the little quandary I was in. Remember how I was like, oh, I don't know when I want this book to be set, like in the summer. So we're going with my gut with the second option. This will be set between the months of October to December, primarily in November. Like that's like when the bulk of the story will occur, but then there's going to be some like outliers here and there. Technically, if you guys want a little sneak peek, wait, that's the wrong page. Oh my gosh. The timeline is actually 2 pages. Anyway, if you want a little sneak peek for the dates in October, Talia meets Jaden, one of the two love interests, October 24th. That is such a random date. I promise there's no significance to that. I just needed a date, so I threw out a date, and I'm probably not even going to put that exact date. I'm probably just going to be like, oh, in a breezy autumn day in October. Like, I have no clue why I'm getting so specific with myself, but it's the inner perfectionist in me. Like, I could not just put October. That pained my soul. So anyway, that's when she meets Jaden, and then exactly a week later, on October 31st, 2023, which is Halloween, she meets Kyle, the other love interest, which Halloween is symbolism for something, so it's very, very important. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. You can imagine Halloween being in your costumes, and then Kyle, which I know is a fan favorite. Like, I know some of you are Team Jaden. I'm not trying to ignore you or discredit you. We love Jaden around here, and I'm so happy to see it. But I think it doesn't take a genius to figure out, if you go through my comment section, most people are Team Kyle. So, there you go. But yeah, she meets him on Halloween and meets Jaden a week earlier. And And in case you caught the little word choice that I used of 2023, yeah, I know, it's 2025. I also am well aware that by the time I finish and release this book, the publication date will more than likely be in 2026. Because I don't know, I'm going to be so busy next year, so I don't know if I'll be able to get this out in 2025. So I'm aiming for an early February or March release in 2026, as I mentioned before. So I know that if it does come out in 2026, it will be about 3 years from when this is supposed to be set. But it's just, it fits in with the timeline because, you know, Allison goes missing in 2018. 2018 is a significant date, and there's a certain time frame and window that fits in that has to be there. Like, there's no negotiation. And then it's supposed to be 5 years, so that's 2023. I'm not going to get bendy with the limits and the frame here. So anyway, it's going to be set in 2023. There are going to be a couple of plot points in 2020, but let me assure you, before y'all start panicking, I promise there are going to be no mentions of COVID in this book. That is one of my biggest bookish pet peeves as well, is when COVID is mentioned in books. Like, I get it. I know it happened. But, like, the whole point of books is escapism, is going into a fictional world that doesn't exist. So why are we mentioning that torturous time that shall never be spoken of again? Like, COVID is already going to be in history books in the future, okay? We don't need it in our precious fictional books. That's my thought process. Also, that's why I hate when TikTok or any social media platform is mentioned in books. I read it to escape from things like that. Anyway, that was my little TED Talk of the night. So yeah, rest assured there's going to be none of that, but there are going to be a lot set between the years of 2018 to 2021. Those are the flashbacks. And then the present story picks up, like I said, end of October 2023. So that's kind of the vibe in terms of past versus present story timeline-wise. Chronologically, that's what I figured out. But yeah, I think we've officially finished that, which makes me very, very happy because everything actually worked out. Like, looking at it now, knowing that I've completed it, it's a very satisfying feeling because I've gotten so much clarity on it and everything just kind of clicked into place like a puzzle piece. So I'm really happy. Like, I think hopefully there's no more plot holes. If there is, like, honestly, it's not like this is the final version and I'm, you know, proofreading the book and getting it ready for publication and I'm trying to make a timeline to double check it's cohesive. Like, it's just so I can have a little bit more knowledge coming into the writing process in May when I start writing the first draft. But obviously I'm going to have several rounds of edits after this. Plus, if there is any gaps that I leave in the timeline and I start writing and I'm like, shoot, I missed this, then come August/September, whenever I get beta readers in, I could ask them, I could be like, hey, the timeline is a little bit unclear. Like, I initially planned for this, but now I'm realizing that it kind of clashes with this other thing, this other event in this other month, or I didn't establish a date. Are you confused? Does this make sense? So that's why we love beta readers, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. It's just, I think it makes sense. I don't know. I'm tired, okay? I am running off. Not a lot of sleep as per usual. What can I say? But as at the moment, we're done. We're good. We figured things out. I'm proud of myself. I broke my brain, but I've been preparing for this the last few weeks with the character profiles and the backstories. I gave myself notes of dates, which I'm so glad I did because I was just working off of those. I didn't honestly have to think of that many new things because a lot of this was reused and recycled information that I've been creating the past few weeks. So, past me, you're a lifesaver. Thank you. Anyway, I think that's enough rambling for one night. I am exhausted. So we're going to cut it off here. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed until the end, I love you so much. You all mean the world to me, and I do not know what I would do genuinely without you guys backing me up, always cheering me on. You really make this writing process more fun. All of my links will be down below in the description box if you want to check them out. I will be back at you next week with another plot outlining vlog. with a lot more details and juicy tea. You don't want to miss it. So I'll see you all very, very soon.